Lovely to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. I'm so excited to learn about your story because the reports you've had in the check ins have been fantastic. And it sounds like your life has improved a lot, Curtis. It's
Oh, very much so.
a good place to start, is, I guess, thinking about way back to where your journey began. I mean, you said you had a A1C of 10% at one stage.
November of 2024, 10%. I had had a heart attack and triple bypass 5 years ago. And you would think after a scare like that, it would wake you up. And I've been dealing with my diabetes for probably 12 plus years. And I kind of thought back when I started this journey that most of the doctors really didn't, they just pushed a new medication on every time I go in for blood work. They wouldn't explain everything. It wasn't until March when I changed, I was looking for a primary and I asked my cardiologist and he gave me a recommendation. And between the two of them, they work together and they're such a great team. And they've actually really educated me, explained what my body is doing, not doing, what the medication that I was on would be doing. But a lot of the motivation was my vision. I mean, I've worn glasses for 20 some odd years, but my vision was starting almost daily, sometimes changing, and that's kind of what kicked me in gear. That time it was like I got to change something, I knew my numbers. I would test every now and then, and they'd be in the 200s, At one point it was like 274 one day, and it was like, this has got to stop. It was early March. I drive a lot. I searched on my for a podcast, type 2 diabetes, and your podcast came up. And actually, the first one I listened to was the one about potatoes, and that really got me thinking. And it was like, wow, I didn't realize that, and it through the next several, it's like that woke me up to realize, what am I eating, and how does that affect my body? I probably listened for another couple weeks and then enrolled in your program.
Yeah, so basically it was your eyesight going that really triggered that. You'd had a hard event and it still didn't trigger you to take action, but all of a sudden, after years and years of living with diabetes, you thought, I need to do something.
Yeah, it was. That was my awakening moment.
Yep. So basically, you found the podcast and you joined as a member not long after that. But what was your lifestyle like before that, like your eating plan and stuff like that?
My wife's a big meat and potatoes girl. Over the last several months, it's been educating. It's like I would, steak, potatoes. My wife loves pasta. I would still think that I was doing things better, low fat, fat free. No, now that I have educated myself, it's false. This journey is just, realizing food substitutions. That's what I've learned from what I used to eat. And there's so many good food substitutions out there. I mean, my wife has really supported me 100%, and she's gotten on also. Spaghetti. When she makes spaghetti, we do the spiral zucchini now as a substitute for the pasta. We've also gone into clean eating, getting rid of a lot of the seed oils and stuff, the natural flavor stuff.
So you've changed quite a lot of things. It's great too that you've really just dived into it, I guess. And how has being a member helped you on your journey?
I had to get to trust you, trust your information, but that was fairly easy doing some more research from what's in your library, what you talked about on your podcast. Yeah, the Wild West Web out there, you can go down some deep holes there. It came down to practice what you say to do and seeing the results. And tracking my numbers, knowing that if I have this, it's going to do this to my blood work. And of course, the loss of weight and the follow-up blood works that's been going through it. that's what's helped me with being a member. Just the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, seeing the results come on, and it happens fairly quickly and slowly at the same time. It's interesting. You get those initial results, you can see numbers changing, and that provides the motivation. Maybe you can share where you started. You said at 10%, but what are your numbers like now? Can you share across the board, say your A1C, your blood glucose, weight, etc.?
My weight in November was 195. Yesterday I was at 159 pounds. A1C, my last blood work August 1st was 5.6. Both the cardiologist and doctor took me off the metformin. I was at 2,000 milligrams a day. I've been doing some supplements, berberine to help possibly. I mean, that was that was my one goal for this year, is to get off metformin totally. And I'm just so happy that I've got that one off that checklist. Cholesterol, LDL, total cholesterol went from 274 to 147. LDL, 197 to 74. Glucose was 204 to 86.
Wow, they were your averages for glucose? Or was that
My
fasting
daily,
glucose?
that was fasting, 86.
Fantastic. So basically all your numbers are in the normal range now.
They are.
How
You know,
incredible.
because I'm a heart patient, my cardiologist wants me to get the LDL below 74. That's okay. I'm getting there.
Oh, I think he must be happy, or he or she, your cardiologist must be happy, from 197 down to 74 already
Yes.
with the LDL.
Yes.
And wow, you just must be feeling a lot better as well. How do you feel in yourself?
I sleep better, more energy. My gut health is much better. Don't have the gastric problems I was having. I think some of that was also metformin, but I think a lot of that also dealt with what is in our foods, the processed foods, you know.
Mm, yeah. It's great to hear that you've got off the metformin as well. And I know that one of your goals is to reduce some other medications. Oh, and I think you said the cardiologist took you off some blood pressure medication as well. Is that right?
Took me off, I was on two blood medications, took me off one and cut the other one in half.
Wow.
And he said, basically monitor the blood pressure really close, because he says if it starts getting lower, we'll have to stop the next one.
Hooray. Gosh, that's such an amazing improvement in a relatively short time, really.
I'm kind of surprised at how much it dropped in that time frame. I think you and my cardiologist think alike in the fact that it's, I think you've said it's like, if you want a slice of cake, have it. You've got to enjoy life. You can't restrict yourself, but next day you just got to get back on that wagon again and start, continue on your journey.
That is totally true, because we can't be perfect all the time. It's an impossibility. So if we put those silly expectations on ourselves, we're never going to live up to that. So it really is more about consistency over perfection. And it was funny because there was something that you wrote down, at which I noted, and you said, none of this happened overnight. It took small, consistent choices: eating cleaner, being active, and staying committed, even when it wasn't easy.
I don't want to sound pompous. It hasn't been as hard as I thought it would be, but there are moments it's, you have to make a decision. Do I, if there are cookies, it's like, yes or no. And it's just knowing where I was in November versus how I'm feeling and doing now. It makes the choices a lot easier.
Mm. I don't think that's pompous to say it wasn't as hard as you thought. I think what happened is you just made a decision that you had to change. And so you just went all in and went, I'm going to do this, which is great.
I want to be around for my granddaughter.
Yeah. Well, isn't that a great why? I mean, of course, you want to be around as long as you can and be able to keep up with her too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, what a fantastic journey. I'm just so pleased that it's made a big difference. It just goes to show, and I'm just, it always amazes me, you know, when people just take that action and how impactful it is. I mean, these stories are many among our members, but it's great when people step forward to share because, yeah, it's just so powerful. And I wish everybody with diabetes just knew and could get those kinds of results quickly instead of the medication model pushing that one agenda all the time.
No, I actually met with a doctor who was also a nutritionist in the same office as my primary. And I met with her and discussed my concerns, what I wanted to do, my goals and everything. And it was not right. I just didn't feel she wanted to listen to me. I mean, I brought up the berberine. She's like, yeah, some of my people take that, but it's not gonna make a difference. And that she actually wanted to increase some of the medication, and it's like, no, no, back to the other doctor.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate. A lot of the dietitians and nutritionists, I mean, somebody who reported today, even in the check-in, said, yeah, they thought the dietitian was crackers because they're recommending, you know, crackers and fruit and oats and when she was in hospital. And look, it is pretty crackers, to tell you the truth. That the lack of education or the type of education that these people are getting around diabetes, it's just completely inaccurate. And, you know, that's why I keep pushing that message out there, because if somebody like yourself finds the podcast or our website and we can help make a difference, it really, really matters, because we've changed your life forever. And that's what's
Oh, big
important.
time. I want to say you have saved my life.
Yep. And that's a wonderful thing. That's what makes me inspired and motivated every day.
Good.
So I always like to ask people, what would be your best advice to people wanting to make changes in their lives?
I'd say managing your diabetes is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Celebrate those small wins. Any win, no matter how small it is, they're wins. Track your blood sugar readings, what you eat, how it affects it. Not only does that help me, but in discussing it with my doctors, a plan of action that we could take, especially with the medication and wanting to come off of it. Support system, leaning on the support system. I know you've always said that you're available. I believe that because of the success of your program. I didn't feel I had to use you as a crutch that much. I know I missed a couple check-ins, but it was always nice to review those, listen to what other people are struggling with. The other thing is, don't create the wheel. There's other people that have been out there and done this and have struggled with it. Learn off them. My why, I said one was being around for my granddaughter. The fewer medications, the energy levels, just my health. That's what I remember. Is like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, well, what a great decision that you made, and now your life is completely different. So fantastic.
Thank you, doctor. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Curtis. Thank you.